Have you ever watched a news report, a grainy image flickering across the screen, showing lines of weary faces, families clutching meager belongings, being moved against their will? Have you ever paused, just for a moment, and felt a cold knot of unease in your stomach, a whisper of something profoundly wrong? This isn't just a headline. It's a human story, a stark reality that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about who we are, who belongs, and the very meaning of dignity. This is about mass deportations. Think about that word. Stripped bare. It means the forced removal of people from a place they have come to call home. More often, it is not because of a crime, not because of a direct and immediate threat, but often simply because of where they were born, the papers they lack, the arbitrary lines drawn on a map decades, even centuries ago. Imagine the terror in their eyes, the silent plea in the grip of a parent holding their child a little tighter. Their world, the fragile tapestry of their lives, woven with memories, relationships, and a sense of place, is being violently torn apart. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the faces. The elderly couple, their roots stretching deep into the soil of this land, now uprooted like ancient trees in a storm. The young child born within these borders, who knows no other home, suddenly labeled an outsider. The student, full of dreams and aspirations, their future abruptly erased with the stroke of a bureaucrat's pen. These aren't just statistics. They are human beings, each with a unique story, a universe of hopes and fears contained within them. Why does this happen? Why do societies, often founded on ideals of justice and compassion, resort to such drastic measures? The answers are complex, woven into the fabric of national identity, economic anxieties, and political calculations. But beneath the surface of policy and rhetoric lies a fundamental question. What is the moral cost of drawing lines on a map and declaring some in and others out? Think about the concept of borders, arbitrary lines etched onto the earth, often through conflict and compromise. They are human constructs, not natural laws. Yet, these lines wield immense power, determining who has access to opportunity, security, and even basic human rights. Are we truly suggesting that a geographical accident of birth can determine a person's worth? Their right to belong? Their very dignity? Consider the feeling of belonging. It's a fundamental human need, as vital as food and shelter. It's the sense of connection to a community, a place, a shared history and culture. To be forcibly removed from that belonging is a profound violation, a tearing away of identity that leaves deep and lasting scars. Imagine the psychological trauma, the crushing weight of displacement, the feeling of being unwanted, alien, in a world that once felt like home. Philosophers throughout history have grappled with the concept of justice and the treatment of the other, from the ancient Stoics, who spoke of a universal human community, to modern thinkers, who champion human rights. There is a recurring thread, the inherent dignity of every individual, regardless of their origin or status. Can we reconcile this fundamental principle with the act of mass deportation, which inherently denies the humanity and worth of an entire group of people? Consider the potential within each individual being deported, the skills they possess, the contributions they could make to society, the love they could offer their families and communities. All of this is disregarded, deemed less important than the abstract notion of a border. What is the collective loss to humanity when we silence these voices, hinder these talents, simply because they fall on the wrong side of an imaginary line? The justifications for mass deportations often hinge on arguments of national security, economic protectionism, or the preservation of cultural identity. But can these concerns truly outweigh the profound human cost? Can we build a secure and just society by inflicting such pain and suffering on vulnerable populations? History offers a sobering reminder of the dangers of dehumanizing entire groups of people, of prioritizing abstract national interests over fundamental human rights. Think about the long-term consequences. The children who are deported, their lives disrupted, their education halted, their sense of security shattered. What kind of adults will they become, carrying the burden of forced displacement? What message does this send to the world about our values, our compassion, our commitment to justice? This isn't just a political issue. It's a moral reckoning. It demands that we look beyond the headlines and the political rhetoric and confront the human reality of mass deportations. It requires us to ask ourselves difficult questions about our obligations to our fellow human beings, regardless of where they were born or the documents they hold. Imagine yourself in their shoes. Imagine being ripped from your home, your community, everything you know and love, and being sent to a place that may be unfamiliar, even hostile. How would you feel? What would you want the world to see? What would you want others to do? The power to draw lines and enforce borders carries with it a profound responsibility, a responsibility to uphold human dignity, to act with compassion, and to seek solutions that are both just and humane. Mass deportations, by their very nature, fail this moral test. They are a blunt instrument that inflicts immense suffering and undermines the very values we claim to uphold. These 5 minutes aren't enough to explore the full complexity of this issue, but it is an invitation to think deeply, to feel empathetically, and to engage in a more profound conversation about borders, belonging, and the fundamental human right to dignity. Let the faces of those displaced linger in your mind. Let their stories fuel a more just and compassionate response. The lines on a map may divide us, but our shared humanity must ultimately unite us.